Hi guys, you're welcome to Delaroy Studios. This is the concluding part of the LinkedIn login integration into Android application. This is the second part. In the first tutorial, we talked about how to do the configuration right in your dashboard of the LinkedIn developers dashboard. Right now, I'll be moving straight to Android Studio where I'll be talking you through on how to go or how to develop the login integration. First of all, we'll talk about the LinkedIn SDK. We have two ways in which you can integrate the LinkedIn SDK that you downloaded from the LinkedIn developer session. You can integrate it by clicking on File, by importing right into the application, or you can import some module, right into it. The second way is going to your directory. Can you see the LinkedIn SDK folder as a standalone folder? You can easily copy it and place it into this directory before the app folder. So after doing that, you come over to Gradle and you synchronize Gradle, which Gradle is going to synchronize the LinkedIn SDK. Before synchronizing, you move to the settings.gradle. You have to include the LinkedIn SDK, to the part which app will integrate with the LinkedIn SDK. This is how you have to include it, the app folder and also the LinkedIn SDK folder. You need to do that in the settings Gradle so that Gradle can be able to understand that you're using LinkedIn SDK as a library. Now I'll be looking at the build Gradle, the module app session, where I have my dependencies, the compile Android support version 7, the support design 23.1.1. I have the compile project, which is the LinkedIn SDK, the compile project, which is we are actually specifying the folder. I have the Square Picasso 2.5.2 and the circle image view. I will be using the circle image view to actually show the picture of a user, which is actually picked from the LinkedIn profile. We're actually going to be using this in the second view. After you might have signed in into the application, we have another view, which is actually going to be a drawer, and we have the opportunity to sign out. You can decide to configure that to your own fit or to your own taste. So this is just a structure that will actually guide you through on how to integrate the login and also how to sign out. I'll be moving straight to the app. The rest, we'll talk about the layout files, the activity bin, the activity user profile, the app bar user profile, the nav header user profile XMLs. The activity main XML is the UI of the application. That's the launcher UI of the application, where the orientation is vertical, the padding bottom, left, right, top are all 16 dps. It's actually calling from the context the main activity, which is the class involved there. We have an inner linear layout, which the orientation is vertical. The text on it is welcome underscore li. That's an ID assigned to it, while the text right on it is LinkedIn. We have a button, that actually makes you log in into the LinkedIn integration. We assign an ID to it called login button. We have another linear layout right there that has a text view of package info. Now we're going to have two sessions. We have the session for the package info and the hash key. We're going to seamlessly create the hash key on the fly. So if you are having challenges creating hash key using the SSL, the OpenSSL, this is just another method which you can actually use in creating your hash key. Because right on your application, you have the two buttons, which is the hash key and the login. Let me quickly show the UI so we can have a full grip of what we are about to have right here. Then we're going to have the login, and we're going to have the uh, generating of the hash key. This the sign in with LinkedIn using the LinkedIn logo, and we have the show package and the hash key. By clicking on this button, you're going to generate your hash key. So you're going to copy this hash key right to your dashboard and include it. I will show you where you are going to actually include the hash key into the dashboard. Let's quickly take a rundown of the text. We have the button, which is the show hash key, the text view for the package name, and the text view also for the hash key itself that is going to display the hash key, and another text view for an error message. Let's look at the activity user profile. This is a drawer layout, calling the drawer layout widget, where the layout with an item are matching parents and the open drawer is starts. We are going to include a layout called app by user profile right inside this layout. We have another one, navigation view, which is going to actually make us navigate. We have the ID nav view, and the menu is calling the menu folder the activity user profile drawer, because we'll be using a drawer right inside the user profile. Now the app by user profile, calling on the coordinator layout and also the app bar layout to actually make us display the user profile. Let's get to look at the activity user profile design view. If we can quickly see that in an initializing rendering library to quickly know how the drawer is going to look. Yes, this is how the drawer is going to look like. We're going to have a circular image view right there that's going to display the user's image, and it's going to hold on to the user's username and also the email of the user. Because of time, I'll be moving straight to the Java classes. I only have two Java classes here: the main activity, which is the launcher activity, and the user profile is the second activity that will be called after the login might have been done. Let's look at the main activity. We imported the package info, the signature, the LinkedIn platform, the LI session manager, the LI authentication error, and the authentication listener. These are all from the LinkedIn platform. The main activity extends activity. We created two fields, the tag and the package. Our package is the reverse domain of this particular application. So yours can be different, but it must be accurate with the package you have from your roots. We have the button where we have the button login LinkedIn, and also for the hash key. These are the two buttons involved. Now we're going to set the content view to the layout activity main and initialize the login LinkedIn, the hash key based on this ID cutting from the activity main. Now we're going to set on click listener to the login LinkedIn. The same thing goes for the hash key, right? Now we have the login LinkedIn method. It's a standalone method where the LI session manager gets its instance and initialize the build scope, instantiating the new authentication listener. Now on authentication success, if the authentication is being successful, the login button will be set to visibility and the view will be gone. Now on authentication error, there will be a toast message that's going to gracefully tell you that the authentication failed. We have after completing the authentication, there's going to start a new homepage activity. This is where the user profile class will come to play. Now we have the activity for result that passing three parameters: the request code, the result code, and the intent data. Now we're going to get the instance on activity result passing those parameters, and we're going to call the new intent to the user profile class. We're going to stack the activity and pass the intent as the parameter. We have the build scope method. Let's quickly look at the generate hash key, because that's for the login and this is for the hash key, which you actually need to generate so that you're going to copy this and paste it right in the dashboard, where I will show you after a moment. We have the package info where we create an object from that. The signature also is being needed, where we're passing the info to the signatures. We're going to get the instance, the SHA will be generated, whereby the view by ID based on the ID from the layout, the package name, and the hash key Now it is going to spit out the package name, set it to text. The same thing goes for the hash key, which is going to actually encode to string in base 64. Okay. Now we're going to catch for the name not found exception, and for the hash key, the no such algorithm exception. So this is quite how the main activity is going to look like, where we're going to generate the hash key and also spit out the package name. Now we're going to do user profile. User profile is the second activity that will be called after the login would have been successful. We're calling a lot of imports here: the floating action button, the graphical part, the navigation view, the draw layout. We also call in the LinkedIn platform API helper, the LI session manager, the LI API error, the API listener, and the API response. We even use Picasso to load up the picture, which is the user's logo, and also call on the JSON object because we'll be getting the URL in the JSON format. Let's quickly brush down this. The user profile extends our corporate activity and implements the navigation view and also the on navigation item selected listener. The host API is the API linkedin.com as a string. We also have for the top card URL, this is where we call on different URLs, the email address, the formatted name, the phone numbers, the profile, the public profile URL of the user that tries to log in, the picture URL also. We have which we are going to be using. We're going to be using this username, the picture URL, is an email address. Now we have the progress dialog, we have the image view, we have the text view for the username, and for the user email, we have the navigation view and also the logout button. On create method, call on the set content, we set it to the activity user profile XML. We initialize the toolbar to call its appropriate ID. Same thing goes for the logout. We set support action bar toolbar to the interface. Now we call on the progress dialog to this particular class. We set the message retrieving the data while rolling up. It's going to gracefully say this, and it's going to set cancelled on touch outside false. So even if you touch outside, it's not going to cancel. It keeps rolling and show and get the user data method. This is going to be called if successful. Get to look at what that method is. Now the floating action button, we actually don't use that. There's a snack bar that will show up. But we need a drawer, which we actually get the ID drawer layout, where we have the toggle, which is actually at the far left corner, top left, where the toggle button we actually toggle to open the navigation drawer and also to close the navigation drawer. We have an on-click listener right on the logout. There is a logout right on the top bar of the layout, where you're going to get the instance and get the application context, where you're going to clear the session and send the intent back to the main activity. That's how the set on-click listener to logout is going to actually work. We have the get user data, which I talked about, that will actually be called after the progress bar finishes. This is when we need the API helper to get the instance and get the request based on the user profile, the top card URL like mentioned up there, top card URL, instantiate with the new API listener to listen to the API because it's going to come back in a JSON format. On API success, there's a try and catch method where the result is going to get the response data as JSON. Now the progress dismiss after this has been done. There's an exception to print to stack trace if there is an error. We have the set navigation header where we initialize the navigation view based on this ID nav view. The header call on the layout inflator where the layout nav header user profile is being used. Now we have for the username, the profile pic, and the user email. That's for the navigation header where we're going to actually show up the user profile, the username, the profile picture, which is going to be in a circular logo, and the user email address. Now you're going to set the user profile where you get the email address from the picture, you get the email address from the link you got from the top card URL. No, because it's going to be passed as it has already been passed as JSON objects. You notice it here. We convert to string both the user email and the username. Now Picasso will handle the picture URL, to actually show this gracefully. You have on back pressed. If there is a back button pressed, what's going to happen is we call on the super on back press to handle this if there is no activity actually running. Now we have the on navigation item selected, which we actually you can add up to this if there's a you can handle it if the nav camera is being clicked, if the nav gallery, these are all showing right on the slider. Actually they compute much of this. You can actually create more intent right into this or create a fragment, to actually undo the clicks for all this. This is not this is outside the scope of what we actually need. We need the login integration and we need to log out using LinkedIn API. Now we look at the manifest, and with manifest, we need the user's permission, internet, very important. This line is very, very important. And we need to include the second activity, which is the user profile class. This is also very important. Without this, there will be an error, and the code won't compile. You're facing difficulties. You need the main activity, which is the launch activity, which is the main activity. That's fine. And the user profile. I will be uploading this source file to my GitHub account, and I will be showing this. I'll be showing the screenshot because I will implore you to try it out in a real device. I've actually tried it out in a real device and it worked very well. So I will also implore you also to do it in a real device. You can use an emulator as well, but you need to install the LinkedIn mobile application, the Android mobile application in your emulator and also in your mobile device. You need that because they work hand in hand. Without the LinkedIn mobile application, a click on the sign in button will take you to the Google Play service or to the Google Play Store for you to pick up the LinkedIn mobile application. You need to download it first before you continue testing or before you start working on this project. I'll be showing you screenshots of how this application actually is. This is the first launcher where you have the sign in with LinkedIn and the show package and also the show hash. This is going to show your package name and the hash key. Let's see what it's going to show. It's going to show your package name as com.what you actually named it, and it's also going to show this hash key. This hash key is what you're going to actually copy and move down to your dashboard, the application dashboard where you've created. Right, these explained this in the first part. You click on the login or what's the name you assigned to your application, and you move to the mobile session over here. This is where you add up the package name and the package hash. Both must conform with what you're getting over here. That's if you actually didn't generate it very well. This is a better way. This is a recommended way to generate your hash key. Do that for your debug settings and it's going to work very well. You click on your update to actually update it and get it saved, because without this hash key, the login won't move further than that. It's just going to keep crashing. So you need to do that very well. Now let's move on to see what's actually going to. It's actually getting a handshake from the LinkedIn application. So yeah, you're going to see this kind of interface, and it moves further to actually showing my this is the logo of the LinkedIn profile used, and this is the logo of the application, trying to tell you that there's going to be a handshake with from the application to the user profile. So now it's telling you that this application login will receive the following information from LinkedIn. That is going to get the profile overview and also the email address of this particular user login. So you must have an account with LinkedIn as well before you can be able to successfully use the LinkedIn application. Even if you don't have an account, it's going to actually push you further for you to create an account and have an account with LinkedIn, or it can actually accept or authenticate you into the application in question. Now you move further. This is actually going to take you to the user profile, retrieving the data from the load URL dimension, where we go to load up the user's email address, the user's logo, and also the user's username. Now this is going to keep rolling, which is the dialog bar. It gets to this page where you have the drawer over here. So there's a drawer used. Now look at what the drawer actually brought out to you. It's been able to load up the picture using Picasso. I actually use Picasso, and it's been able to load up the user's name info and the user's email address. So this is a real form of authentication, and you can walk around with these logos. You can build more on these. This is just like a framework for this application. This is a drawer even used after the login, so you can build more on this. This is a good structure for you to start up developing more on your application. Now you have this kind of interface. Clicking the logout will take you back to the main activity, which is the login screen. So now we click to the logout. It takes you back to this interface. You can be able to log in back into the application. I think with this analysis, you should be able to have a full grip of how to integrate the sign-in, or let's say the login application into your the login with LinkedIn APIs into your application. Thank you very much for hanging out with me throughout this tutorial. I'll be uploading the source file to my GitHub account. You can pick it up from there. Use it in the course of your application. And if there's any comments or any questions whatsoever, just drop it down in the comment section of my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful time. Bye bye.